Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday evening loving kindness meditation. My name is Alex. It's wonderful to be here with you today. First of all, a little technical glitch happened last week. Thank you, Eric, for pointing it out. So apparently there were a lot of people asking questions, but we couldn't see it. There was some sort of weird technical glitch. I told Temple Ghost to say hello, and apparently he kind of screwed up the software. So Temple Ghost, please stop doing that. Just rattle something next time I say hello. So I welcome you. Travis welcomes you. Temple Ghost welcomes you in sometimes a very strange way. I'm glad it is cooler than the weekend. Holy cow, that was hot. But a little bit better now. And again, we're all happy to be here. If there's anybody who is new to the Dharma Bum Temple, like online class, or new to the loving kindness class, please say hello. I would love to hear from you. If there's anyone who's been here for a while, still say hello. I would still love to hear from you. And maybe we can see if our chat box is working. There should be a chat box there. You can just type in something and hit enter and say hello. So I'd love to hear from you. It helps me be engaged. Helps you be engaged. Helps Travis be engaged. So say hi.
Susan said hi.
Hi, Susan. All right, we have somebody saying hi. Good, I'm glad. Also, that means this works this week, so that's nice. All right.
Michelle said hello.
Awesome. Hi, Michelle. Wonderful to be here with you. So this is one more person.
Jeremy said hi, Alex and Travis and the Temple Ghost, and then Katie said hello as well.
Hi, Jeremy and Katie. Where's that Travis? No, Jeremy and Katie. Yeah, that's it. This is a class or a meditation on loving kindness, and the word that we use here is metta, M-E-T-T-A, metta. And it comes from an ancient Pali language and now translated into English 2,500 years later. It means a lot of things. It can mean unconditional friendliness, loving kindness, goodwill, simply a wish to be happy. And not only a wish to be happy, but a wish for those to do the things that cause happiness. And the things that cause happiness are positive thoughts, words, and actions. Just like we say at the Dharma Bum Temple, think good thoughts, speak good words, do good deeds. That is what encompasses our loving kindness meditation. And we've been doing it kind of this modified way, which I really like a lot. And we're going to continue to do it that way tonight anyway. We're going to wish loving kindness for our benefactor, and then we'll do it, then we'll imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us, and then we'll do it for ourselves, and then we'll do it for all beings. And I like this kind of modified way a great deal, especially now in quarantine. Even though, I would say most people are used to it, it still presents a strain for some people. There's a lot of economic insecurity for a lot of people still. And, if you're one of those people, that, certainly my heart goes out to you, and my dedication of loving kindness for all beings goes out to you all especially. Because I know it's very difficult for a lot of people right now. And so we're going to do this meditation, and then we're going to have a discussion. So again, you'll see there's a chat box there. If you want to ask a question about the loving kindness meditation, about the instructions, about what your experience of meditation was, or if you just want to post a comment of how your meditation experience was. If there's no wrong answers or no wrong experiences, I would love to hear from you. If you don't know what kind of question you want to ask, but maybe you want to ask a question, you could ask yourself at the beginning of the meditation, what question do I want to ask? And then put that question aside, and then just do the meditation. And then when we're done, ask yourself the same question. And say, what question do I want to ask? And then maybe something will pop into your head. And you can put it in the chat box and we'll talk about it. Yeah. All right. So let's get started on our meditation. So before we do that, though, of course, let's get into our seated position here. So I'm not going to go over a whole lot of seating instructions because I don't think there was anybody new, so you all kind of know what you're doing, I think. But so get into a comfortable meditation position and then we'll begin. So just allow your eyes to close, making sure you have that comfortable and sustainable position so you're not likely to move around too much. Making sure again that you're comfortable, and what this does is provides like an attitude of no struggle. So we don't want to struggle with any part of our meditation. We don't want to struggle with our breath or our seated position or the instructions. Just do your best. And when we sit like a Buddha. And you can even imagine yourself sitting underneath the Bodhi tree of enlightenment. Ready for the abiding for the next 25 minutes or so. So just start to pay gentle attention to your breath. Focusing your breath at the base of the nostrils, feeling the air go in and out as you breathe. Or focusing on the belly or the chest, feeling its expansion and contraction as you breathe. So just so we can all just kind of get connected to the breath, let's just all take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. At first, not forcing the breath, letting it be quite easy and quite natural. So just for the next few moments, just rest as gently as you can in the sensations of the breath. And so to begin our practice of loving kindness, we're going to call to mind our benefactor. And a benefactor is anyone who has shown us great love or great kindness. Someone it's really, really easy to have these positive feelings for. You just think of this person and your heart gets bigger. Your heart gets warmer. And just a smile can come across your face so easily just thinking about them. This person can be living or not. Just call to mind just their own wish to be happy. Their own wish to be free from danger, healthy, if they're living. And you can do this one of two ways. You can just repeat phrases of loving kindness for them. Phrases like, may you be happy, and say their name. May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at peace and live at ease in this world. Or if you don't want to repeat phrases, you can just imagine radiating loving kindness out to them in whatever way that feels best for you. You can imagine a beam of loving kindness shooting from your heart to theirs. It could be any color, it could be cool, it could be warm, it could be vibrating just gently. Or however you want to do it is fine. You could have one benefactor, you could have more than one. Just so for the next few moments, we'll do this practice of loving kindness for our benefactor. So shifting our focus just a little bit from doing this practice for benefactors to now imagining our benefactor doing this practice for us. These people wouldn't be, or our benefactors, if they didn't mean a whole lot to us, and if they haven't done a whole lot to us, or meant a whole lot to us. And so we're going to imagine our benefactor doing this practice of loving kindness for us. And you can imagine them repeating these phrases, same phrases, and you can imagine them in your mind's eye saying, may you be happy and say your name. May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at peace and live at ease in this world. Or you can just imagine them radiating a beam of loving kindness from their heart to yours. And just sometimes it helps to place your hand over your heart to see if you can receive all of this loving kindness from your benefactor or benefactors. Is there any resistance there whatsoever? Any tugs of your heart that just can't or won't receive all of this loving kindness? And if there is, can you just breathe into that? Can you soften it so that you can receive more of this wonderful loving kindness coming from your benefactor? So we'll just do this for the next few moments. And now, again, shifting our focus. And so let's see if now we can do this practice for ourselves. Just call into mind your own wish to be happy, your own wish to be safe and healthy, free from danger. And gently, in repeating these phrases of loving kindness for yourself, or just imagining you radiating this loving kindness back onto yourself. Imagining your heart get bigger, warmer. And we'll just do this practice for ourselves now. finally, we can do this practice for all beings in all directions. Just go as far out as you possibly can. The heart is limitless. There is no limit to how far your loving kindness can extend. And so with knowing that, we do this practice for all beings in all directions. In all beings, be happy. All beings do the things that cause happiness. So we'll just do this to end our meditation. So just open your eyes when you're ready. And just take the next 60 seconds out in silence as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs. Keeping that mindfulness of metta, of loving kindness about you while you do that. And then we'll begin. You want to ask yourself, what question do I want to ask? Again, you can do that. If you have a question, you can type it into the chat box. And so now that it's working this week, we can answer questions and we can have a discussion and all that fun stuff. So I would love to hear from you. So that was good for me because something happened that doesn't usually happen while I'm leading a meditation class. And that is I got into this really kind of concentrated place that I don't normally get to while I lead a class. I can get concentrated, but not like this. And it was wonderful. And one of the wonderful things about it was not getting lost in it and having the mindfulness to say, oh, yeah, I should probably continue with the instructions like I normally do. And so he's like, okay. So that was a pretty cool little experience that happened for me. So again, I would love to hear from you. How was that meditation for you? Whatever your experience is fine. Any questions on the instructions? Any questions on Buddhist practice? Any questions on Temple Ghost? Whatever you want to ask is okay. It's open, relatively open forum. We try to keep it to Buddhism, though, right?
So Cynthia and Donovan said hi.
Cynthia and who?
Donovan.
Hi, Donovan. Donovan, are you new? I don't remember a Donovan.
May have seen him before, I'm not sure. And then Susan said, no questions, but thank you. It was profound and lovely.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Thank you, Susan. So, I did this thing. We'll just call it a thing, right? I don't want to get into the thing or what the thing was. And there's a Facebook page about the thing, and it's spiritually related. And there is this person new to the thing, and this thing involves meditation. This thing involves, practice and like a course study. And this person asks a lot of questions that a new person may ask. he doesn't seem to be learning more than meditation techniques or having meditation experiences. He doesn't appear to be doing this like course of study, like it would be similar to like a sutra study or understanding the teachings. It's just the meditation. And so all his questions are meditation. I had this bad meditation. I definitely that. People try to be gentle with him. But it's become obvious that he's just trying to meditate his way out of whatever situation that he's in without being informed by a larger perspective of what the teachings mean and what the teachings are. And I feel bad for him because this is a public forum, and so I need to be really careful about what I say on social media, in this group. So I try to be helpful, but I don't really answer. A lot of people answer his questions. It's a Facebook, so one person has a question, you get a million answers because everyone wants to have their opinion, right? So I try to be judicious about saying anything, and careful about what I do say. But I feel bad for him because this is kind of what's called spiritual bypassing. And for those of you who don't know what spiritual bypassing is, spiritual bypassing is just using spiritual teachings to bypass your stuff. Just to bypass your stuff, all the difficult stuff that's going on inside, like not wanting to deal with any of the difficult stuff. Just wanting the airy, fairy, wonderful, woo, whatever else, wonderful spiritual experiences that are out there. And in any spiritual path, and this is another spiritual path, in any spiritual path, there's a lot of this. There's a lot of this in Buddhism. There's a lot of this in every other spiritual path that I've seen, and this is normal. Right? It's normal. It's just kind of what you encounter. I've done it myself. Certainly. Sometimes I still do it myself, although I can catch myself pretty easy. And what this is just the inability and just the fear to really look at what's going on inside. So this fear to going to those places that scare you because they're just too hard to look at. So you also might call this shadow work. Maybe you've heard that term, shadow work. If you don't know what the shadow is simply something that's unknown. That's it. The shadow is unknown. And in many spiritual practices, shadow work is, necessary, required, because it's all the stuff that we don't want to look at, all the stuff that we're scared of, all the stuff that prevents us from progressing spiritually. And it's why the spiritual path, really, when done properly, is really hard. Really, really hard. Whether it's Buddhism, whether it's something else. And so, because I saw this a lot, I see this a lot as well in Buddhist circles, and pretty much it's everywhere. We think of spiritual awakening as this, you imagine these heavenly sounds like oh, when you have these like new realizations and maybe meditation experiences and all like that. And we think of this and we picture this as a spiritual awakening, and it may be like that at first. And it certainly was like that for me at first. Absolutely. I came to spiritual practice or Buddhism in early 2007, like just when this temple was opening up downtown. I didn't come to the temple right away. It took me like 3 months to get to the temple. But, it was all wonderful at first. All just yay, and sutras and meditation and learning and all these people and the Sangha. I thought that, well, this Buddhism thing, well, this is just the best thing ever. And then, it happened. I had this experience where it all just kind of came crashing down like a house of cards, right? All this thing that I thought was a spiritual awakening. I suddenly realized, the shadow just, and this unknown, whatever you want to call it, just came just like right in front of my eyes, and I could do nothing but look at it. And it was very painful. It's very painful. And that was, I guess you could call it like a spiritual bottom in a way. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But that's a part of spiritual awakening. It's a very important part of spiritual awakening, and just seeing all this wreckage in front of you. How you, all the ways you've created your own suffering in the past, all the ways you continue to do it. As someone in recovery, it's kind of like, that's another kind of hitting the bottom, but spiritually, this is kind of a way of hitting bottom too. And I remember it was really, really very painful, and a lot of really anxiety-inducing. And I didn't really have. I had a teacher at the time, but not a good one. So I was kind of like, had to do a lot of this kind of on my own and just kind of figure it out, which you eventually do. I mean, everyone eventually does. And so, but this was, as difficult as it was probably the most important thing that's ever happened to me in my spiritual life. And I'm thankful for it all the time. Because it's a reality check, it's an ego check, it's it has informed everything that I've done from then until now. Not that I haven't made mistakes, I've made plenty of them. But I remember that feeling, and I said, well, I don't think it's getting any worse than that. Well, maybe it will, I don't know. Maybe I'll have another bottoming out, I'm not sure. But that's the shadow work that I've been doing for the last 13 years now. And it's really, really important stuff. And it seems like sometimes your spiritual progress is not really happening quickly, or at least as quickly as you want it to, or would hope it would be. Because you see all these articles in the paper, or magazine covers about meditation, and it's weird. It's something that's frustrating for me whenever I see these magazine articles or magazine covers about meditation and mindfulness. It's always the same person. It's always the 20-something blonde woman in Lululemon yoga gear, sitting in meditation, and the sun is shining behind her, and she's just blissing out. And I just want to scream at these people. That's not what this is. And that there's people of all colors and races and ethnicities and who meditate, and it looks nothing like that. And so, I think the spiritual bypassing, a lot of it is propagated by like the media's portrayal of mindfulness and meditation, and even Buddhism. So I don't know, I was just kind of thinking a little bit about that and about this person at this other thing. and I don't want to get into what that is. And how it's important, that we recognize when this is happening, that when we're using the Buddhist teachings to not deal with our stuff. And when we deal with our stuff, it's never as scary as we think it is. Right? I remember Pema Chodron was relaying this story about a friend of hers who had these horrible dreams about these monsters who were chasing her. And Pema asked, well, did you ever think to turn around and look at the monsters? She goes, no, I never thought about that. And so the next time that she could, she remembered she was having this dream, the same dream that the monsters were chasing her. And so she just, kind of had the wherewithal to remember to look behind her and stare into the face of these monsters. And so she did that. And they didn't seem so bad. And they just disappeared because she looked at them. And that's what this shadow wants. It wants to scare you, and it doesn't want you to look at it. And looking at it has been the best thing that I've ever done in spiritual practice. Best thing I've ever done. Because these places that scare you are these things that scare you. They're not that scary when you look at them. When you look at them with some awareness. And this kind of goes to what I talked about a little bit about last week and the week before about Mara. And just Mara doesn't like awareness. Mara doesn't like any light being shined on the shadow. Mara just likes the shadow. And when you shine this light of awareness on the shadow, it all just crumbles. Because it's just a construct meant to keep you imprisoned in this kind of cage of suffering. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I don't know, I just thought about that like just now. All right, so we have like 9 minutes left. Travis, do we have anything?
Yes. Katie shared, I can struggle with practicing compassion versus giving too much and causing burnout. Then the suffering of resentment can set in. How do you find the balance of giving/helping, but also holding steady and letting things be? In other words, being another's rock instead of trying to fix them.
So that's a really good question, Katie. And one of the answers to that is practice. Because there's this balance you have to strike, like you were talking about, as to being there for somebody and being a rock for them and trying to fix them, trying to fix their problem, instead of just like holding space for them. And let's just say that. Let's just say holding space for them. Right? We don't need something so solid as a rock, right? Just holding space for them, just to let them be anxious, let them be whatever they need to be without you interfering and trying to fix them. And for a lot of really compassionate, empathetic people, the natural tendency is to do that. And the only way to really not do that is just practice, a lot of trial and error, a lot of mindfulness, because mindfulness really just keeping your mind on something, right? So really not necessary. And when you're with this person, is just to always be on the lookout. Always be on the lookout. Always be mindful of, wanting to help, wanting to fix. And always just kind of asking yourself that question. Is this something I need to do, or do I just need to hold space for this person? Just let them be anxious and let them be whatever they need to be. Just maybe suggest a few things here and there, but not to fix them. And a lot of it, like I said, is just trial and error. So you're probably going to make a mistake, And that's okay. That's the wonderful thing about this practice. Mistakes are fine as long as you're trying your best, as long as your intention is there in the right place, you will get there. So I hope that helped a little.
Jeremy shared in regards to meditation, I would quickly forget to say the phrases in my head, but found thinking about it as optional enjoyable.
So yeah, you can just, if you look at the Metta Sutra or the Metta Sutta, one of the phrases is radiating kindness to radiating kindness to the entire world. And there are plenty of monks who say, don't worry about these stupid phrases. I mean, some people like phrases, so I'll give you an option. And they just have radiate, just radiate loving kindness. This way you don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about what phrase you want to say. Do I feel good about this phrase? Do I remember this phrase? Does this phrase mean anything to me? So a lot of that kind of discursive thinking can go away when you just radiate loving kindness to somebody. In whatever way you want to do it. So this practice is really flexible. And it allows for, we know you're going to make mistakes. That's what I like about this, what I love about this practice. We know you're going to make mistakes. You take all the precepts, you want to do all these things, and you're just going to, because you don't have the wisdom quite yet, you're going to screw up. Right? It's going to happen. And that's fine. As long as you're trying. And as long as we learn from our mistakes. Like I think it was Katie earlier who talked about becoming too compassionate, which you can become too compassionate. It's called idiot compassion. And it's what they call it. It is, I didn't make it up. It's called idiot compassion, and it's the near enemy of compassion. And it's when you are so compassionate and empathetic, you're just running to help everybody in everything, in every situation, and you just become a fixer. You become the fixer. You become the go-to person to fix everything. You can fix this, you can fix that, you can fix everything. And then, people like this get burned out constantly. Because this compassion doesn't have any wisdom to go along with it. And so that's what this trial and error does, is it creates a lot of wisdom. So it's like, oh, well, I tried that didn't work, so we won't do that again. And so then we finally get to a place where we can balance our compassion with our need to fix. Right? That's called equanimity. And that's the last of the heart practices. And it ties all the rest of them together: loving kindness, compassion, empathetic joy. It ties all the rest of them together. It's a wonderful place to get to if you can get to it. Okay, we got 2 minutes.
Katie had responded, I like it, the holding space. And yep, it's going to take a lot of practice, but I know it will pay off. Thank you, Alex.
Yes. Yes, it will. I love that term, holding space. You're holding space for them to do whatever they need to do. Let them be anxious. Let them cry their eyes out. Let them be angry. Let them be whatever they need to be. A lot of times they don't need you to fix it. They just need to be angry with you. They need to cry in your arms. They need to just cry in your presence. And just knowing that, and then, subconsciously they know they don't need you to fix them. They just want you to be there for them, to witness, just to witness, and to hold space for them. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much. It was wonderful to be here with you. Again, this is the Dharma Bum Temple, loving kindness class. We have classes all the time, every week. Please look at our temple schedule online and just go to the class you want to. Let's join our palms together on our hearts, please. And may the benefits of this meditation, this discussion, be received by all beings. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. May all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that they are. Thank you for coming. All right, everybody. Wonderful to see you. I love you all. We'll see you next time. Bye now.